Hello, my name's Simonez and welcome to another Simonez Guide video. Today we're talking about pre-raid gearing for an Assassination Rogue in Wrath of the Lich King. There are two important stat caps to worry about in Wrath of the Lich King, and the first is the poison hit cap of 17% to ensure your poisons are never resisted by boss enemies. With the precision talent 5 out of 5, that's 315 hit rating that you'll need on your character. If you have precision talent and you have a spell hit debuff like improved fairy fire from a druid or misery from a shadow priest, that's 237 hit rating that you'll need. The second important cap is the expertise cap of 6.5%. Mutilate rogues don't get any special bonuses to expertise from talents or racials, so it's going to be a pretty constant 214 expertise rating to hit that expertise cap. We're going to analyze each of these items with a high score and a low score. The high score is when you fully utilize all the hit and expertise on the item. This is the most valuable it can possibly be for you. The low score is when you are already at your poison hit cap and already capped on expertise. This is the least valuable the item can be for you. Here we have some example helmets like Mask of the Watcher with a massive 62 expertise on it. When you can fully utilize that expertise, it's a really good helmet. In fact, it's the best. But if you're getting your expertise elsewhere on your gear and the expertise on Mask of the Watcher is wasted, it becomes a really poor choice because that expertise is worth nothing when you're over the cap. Like I said, Mask of the Watcher is a very strong choice if you need expertise on your helmet slot. If you don't, it's a very poor choice. If you're not using expertise with Mask of the Watcher, your next best option is the Weakness Spectralizers, which is a bind-on pickup crafted item from Engineers. And even if you need hit chance, if you're below your poison hit chance, the weakness spectralizers are still better than your best hit option with duplicitous guys. They just have so much more stats than the duplicitous guys that they're worth using. For the necklace, we've got Pendant of the Outcast Hero as the clear winner from 25 Emblems of Heroism. We have a runner-up with Titanium Impact Joker being a little bit worse, crafted bind on equip from Jewel Crafting. So if you've got some extra coin, you'll be able to just buy this. For the shoulders, we have two very good options in Spalders of the Careless Thief with 33 hit on them, and the Trollwoven Spalders with 28 expertise on them, which are crafted by leatherworkers. You'll choose between these two depending on if you need hit or expertise to round out your gear set. For the cloaks, we have Embrace of Sorrow as a very good hit option. If you need the hit, this is your best cloak. But if you don't need the hit, you're going to be looking at either Cloak of Unforgivable Sin or Ice Striker's Cloak as better options. For the chest pieces, we have Hero's Bone Scythe Breastplate as the clear winner. This takes 80 Emblem of Heroism. It's technically accessible pre-raid, but it might not be realistic to get that many emblems. And your next up is going to be the Custodian's chest piece. This is one with a lot of offensive stats, but you might notice no stamina on this. So big DPS item, but not a very big survival item, that's for sure. For the bracers, we've got Dragon Friend bracers from Wyrmrest Accord Exalted. These are really good with 49 agility, 38 crit, and 100 attack power. Pretty strong bracers. But if you're not going to get Exalted with that faction, the runner-up option, the Drake Champions bracers, are pretty good as well. If you're fully utilizing the 29 hit on those bracers, they're almost identical in power level to the Dragon Friend bracers. And these are a BOE trash drop from the Oculus, so you can either get lucky finding them in the dungeon, or you can buy them on the auction house. For the gloves, we have the Hero's Bone Scythe Gauntlets available for 60 Emblem of Heroism, and the Gilt-Edged Leather Gauntlets from Utgard Pinnacle Heroic dropping from King Ymuran. You may not reasonably be able to get these 60 Emblems of Heroism for the Bone Scythe Gauntlets before you enter a raid, so the Gilt-Edged Leather Gauntlets are a good pick there. For the belts, we have Jorok's Crocodile Skin Belt. It has 38 expertise on it, and you get it for 40 Emblem of Heroism. This is a very strong belt option. For the leggings, we have another clear winner with the Gored Hide Leg Guards that drop from Galdara in Gundrak Heroic. These have 52 hit on them, a lot of agility, and a huge amount of attack power. For the boots, another easy choice with the Boots of the Neverending Path. 66 hit on those, and they come from the Argent Crusade reputation at Exalted. These are really strong, and getting Exalted with Argent Crusade is going to be the first reputation I work on because of this very strong reputation reward. For the rings, we have a lot of options, and you'll have to choose two of them, of course. The Hemorrhaging Circle is a very good one with 33 expertise on it. If you're utilizing that expertise, it's a really good option. And if you're not utilizing that expertise, it's a really bad option, which is how most expertise items work. If you're not going for that, the Band of the Curator is a strong option that doesn't have hit or expertise on it, so it's pretty consistently good. This comes from a vendor for 8,500 gold base price, but if you get high faction with the Curator, you can reduce the vendor price of it with a faction discount. Another option is the Signet of the Edward the Odd, which is a BOE world drop. Agility, attack power, haste, and a neat little haste proc on it, which is pretty good. For the ranged options, we've got Spine Slicer, Nessingwary 4000, and the Drake mounted crossbow. A lot of setups are going to like the Nessingwary 4000 because this one has a socket in it, which gives you a little bit of flexibility to pick up hit, expertise, or more attack power on it. But the Spine Slicer has the most hit, so if you really need hit in your gear setup, Spine Slicer is going to be your choice in the ranged slot. For trinkets, we've got Mirror of Truth and Dark Moon Card Greatness as unquestionably the best trinkets you can get. The Mirror of Truth comes from 40 Emblems of Heroism, and the Dark Moon Card Greatness is crafted by the Inscription profession and comes from the Nobles deck. For the Mirror of Truth, you may be able to get an alternative, the Corrin's Chromium Coaster, which is identical in stats to the Mirror of Truth, and it comes from the Brewfest holiday event. If the holiday event is coming out right around when Wrath of Lich King is coming out, this could be a good option, but it might not line up and this might not be available. Sphere of Red Dragon's Blood is another option for trinkets, and it's okay if you're fully utilizing the hit chance on it, and if you're not, it's pretty poor compared to Mirror of Truth and Dark Moon Card Greatness. For daggers, there's a lot of options, but Librarian's Paper Cutter is definitely going to be one you want. This drops from Halls of Lightning Heroic, and it's a bind on equipped trash drop, so you can either get lucky finding it in the dungeon or buy it on the auction house. The Flesh Shaper from Halls of Stone Heroic, dropping from the Iron Shaper boss, is another really good option. Now you can see that pretty much all the good setups use Librarian's Paper Cutter in the main hand, and then it's just basically a choice of the offhand. The Flesh Shaper is the best, Namlak's Supernumerary Sticker is a close second, Broken Stalactite is a very close third. If we have the Brewfest event going on, we might have access to Direbrew's Bloody Shanker. It's a question mark whether Brewfest event will line up with the release of Wrath, but I figured it's worth mentioning because if you can get this, it quite substantially shakes up the rankings, and you'll definitely want Direbrew's Bloody Shanker main hand with instant poison combined with Librarian's Paper Cutter offhand with deadly poison. You can see that the difference between that setup and the Paper Cutter Flesh Shaper setup is pretty substantial. Now, I know some of you would be upset if I didn't at least mention using 2 Librarian's Paper Cutter as a pre-raid setup for an Assassination Rogue. It's true that using double Paper Cutter increases your energy generation from your focused attacks talent, but the other benefits of using the Flesh Shaper far outweigh that energy generation. You have significantly higher damage per mutilate, you have a higher quantity of instant poison procs, and higher damage per instant poison. You have higher main hand auto attack DPS, and you have higher offhand auto attack DPS. And altogether, this simply outweighs the energy generation from the double Paper Cutter setup. Now, we've talked about a lot of individual gear slots, but let's look at some complete gear setups now. This is a baseline setup that includes no bind on equip epics, no emblem of heroism items, no tier 7 items, no items from Sunwell, and no engineering items. It should be very accessible to most players. But of course, we can upgrade it if we include some of these things that we've excluded. First, if we spend a bit of gold and we get some of these bind on equip epics, we can upgrade Titanium Impact Choker, Troll Woven Spalders, Ice Striker's Cloak, Band of the Curator, Dark Moon Card Greatness, some Berserking enchants on our weapons, and a Nessingwary 4000 in our range slot. The majority of this DPS gain of 276 comes from the Dark Moon Card Greatness and the 2 Berserking enchants. The other items added with gold are not as significant as those. If we add Emblem of Heroism items, the Pendant of the Outcast Hero, the Jorok's Crocodile Skin Belt, and the Mirror of Truth, we get a pretty big bonus of about 145 DPS, and in this case, most of that is coming from the Mirror of Truth and the Jorok's Crocodile Skin Belt. The Pendant of the Outcast Hero is a more minor item. If we add the tier 7 Emblem of Heroism items, the Hero's Bone Scythe Breastplate and the Hero's Bone Scythe Gauntlets, we get a pretty small bonus of plus 27 DPS. As an Assassination Rogue, you won't utilize the 2-piece bonus on this set, so this is just strictly a stat upgrade. If we add Engineering, we get the Flex Weave Underlay on the Cloak, the Hyperspeed Accelerator's Glove Enhancement, which is very good, and the Nitro Boosts on the boots, which is also very good, giving you an additional sprint-like ability, and of course we add Serenite Bombs to our DPS rotation. With this particular setup, we don't utilize the Weakness Spectralizers because we don't have enough expertise on our other items, but if you can mix in some other stuff, you'd also want to get the Weakness Spectralizers from Engineering. If we add in Sunwell Plateau items, we can access the 2-piece bonus of the Slayer's set to give an additional 5% haste on our Slice and Dice ability. This is a very strong set bonus, and while the individual items we use to get it are slightly weaker than what we could be using, the set bonus is very much worth obtaining. We can also upgrade the Meteorite Whetstone to a Blackened Naru Sliver for an overall gain of about 86 DPS over the baseline set. Now, if we utilize literally everything available to make an actually perfect pre-raid best in slot list for an Assassination Rogue in Wrath of the Lich King, this is what it would look like. We replace almost every item from the baseline setup, save for the Gourd Hide leg guards, the Hemorrhaging Circle, and our 2 daggers. Altogether, this adds about 594 DPS over the baseline setup. However, it may not really be realistic to obtain all of these items before stepping into your first raid. That's why I've spent the whole rest of this video talking to you about options and letting you know what the strongest items are in each slot so you can prioritize and figure out what you're going to get for your rogue before you step into Naxxramas. Thanks for watching the Simonize Show. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Can't wait for more sweet videos? Links are on screen that you can watch right now. Be sure to join the Discord server and pop by on Twitch to catch me live. Links to both are in the video description. Thank you for watching and have a great day.